185 people lost their lives in February in 2011 in the Christchurch earthquakes. Their names are on this wall. But it was also during that time that Steve Bloxham was the TVNZ Chief Bureau, and he was in charge of distributing the news resources and sending people out into the field. Today we catch up with him and get an understanding of what it was like to be the media on that day.
Breaking news after reports of a shooting in central Christchurch this afternoon.
Your streets are washed and your hearts are aching.
Midday special on the mine explosion that's trapped 29 miners.
This is and will be one of New Zealand's darkest days.
At 12:51 p.m. local time, Christchurch was rattled with a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. Amongst the devastated city and those in it was Steve Bloxham, the Chief Bureau at TVNZ.
When we got out of the building, which we had to do by kicking doors out, this is the difference. Turned left, car, dead person. Walked 5 steps more, Ruth and Williams' car, about a foot high. The building next door had fallen over and she was going to go and sit in that car and have lunch. By the time we got to the corner from our Gloucester Street building up to the corner, I think there were 3 deaths in there, and one guy was buried in the iconic bar on the corner. That corner is where the Ron Madden is in that iconic shot shooting ground, and the aftershock happens and bits of building fall off and you've got this cameraman standing in the middle of chaos, and it really does reflect what was going on.
Having no communication to Auckland, Steve's fight or flight instincts were switched on.
So we knew that we had to get pictures out somehow. We had no real means of doing it. There was a live eye truck out of the building. We put that in into Latimer Square quite quickly, but that couldn't feed Auckland. It could feed back to us. So we had a wee conference, and the SNG operator, we decided we'd go back and get the SNG truck out while the aftershocks were happening. So that was probably a bit naughty, but it was a bit of a risk, but you know.
Are you happy with the way you reacted and acted as Bureau Chief?
Yes, if I was unhappy with myself for anything, it would be that I hadn't really taken on board that shit happens from September, and we could have been easier to do if we'd had better comms set up.
It's easy to look past how hard it really is for someone to deal with a crisis on the other side of the television screen. For Steve, he had to deal with distributing news resources and sending people out into the field. In our next episode, we interview Jordan Oppert, who covered the Christchurch mosque attacks.